Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Ryu ga Gotoku Ishin no damage bosses, this time with commentary. Lots of folks are only interested when there's commentary, so here it is. This is the very first boss of the game. This is Nishikine, and this is New Game Plus right now. You'll notice he doesn't attack me. Even though this is on hard, he's still not going for me. He's just kind of being a coward. So I'm using this as an opportunity to beat up a bunch of people, and then I do the dodge that is in Ishin that makes this game so wonderfully broken. So the dodge, if you don't know, guys, traditionally in Yakuza, when you dodge, if anybody hits you from the side or the back, they'll damage you because it's a directional dodge that can only dodge from in front. And if somebody hits you with a sword, you usually had to have specific gauntlets on to make it so that you could block it anyway, or you had to block with an actual weapon. In this game, it takes the block from the copper in Yakuza 4, where the moment you press it, you get like a glow around your character, and you will do this weird spin the enemy around move. And then afterwards, that's it just then. You notice how my character is glowing? Well, Kazuma Kiryu is completely invincible while he's glowing like that. And there's this wonderful exploit you can do in this game, which I tried not to do too much, but it's definitely one way of playing. If you if you block an enemy's move and do the spin and get that presence on your body, that aura of invincibility, you can then do a tiger drop with complete immunity, because if you mistime it, you'll take no damage, and then you just spin them again, and then you go for another tiger drop. It allows you to tiger drop with no risk. Unlike just then, that was a risky tiger drop, even though of course it's not that difficult to time, and in this game it's ludicrously powerful. And I don't even have that enraged gauntlet for beating everybody in the Colosseum, which makes your damage 50% more when you use your fists. I only have the one for 30, and I still do nuclear tiger drops, which is beautiful because it's my favourite move in the series and I adore it. So there goes Goda in the sauna. You've seen that move before, as we punch him in the dick and everything. And then we've got Nishiki again, with a big group of people. Some folks were asking, Chris, why were you using this like prismatic sword? I'm using it because I love how it looks. Statistically, it's a pile of dog shit compared to some of the other swords I've got, but I love how the blade looks. I think it's a fantastic effect, and I'm using it for swag and nothing else. And this is the part of the episode where we talk about the gun. So there is a gun style in Ishin which is absolutely ridiculously broken. If I put my gun style on, guys, my gun shoots double bullets than it normally should, and it does like 200 or 300 damage, and it fires really quickly, and it knocks people down, it breaks armor, it's got all these crazy properties. The gun is insane. And it's wonderful because if any enemies have a gun, or the enemies have a big crowd of people, you can use it to get rid of them to get to the boss quickly, like I did in this scenario. Because this is Nishikine again, and he's not attacking me. So it's like, what do you do? If a boss isn't aggressive, I can't do anything. So it's a little bit frustrating. And I do love the splash screen on this game, it looks wonderful. But here's Saijima. They're all called different names, guys, but you'll forgive me if I don't know what things are called, because I can't read a fucking word of this game. That right there is the tiger drop with the sword. I followed it up with a simple charge combo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to block his first hit for the immunity, and then I'm going to proceed to hit it with a tiger drop, which I just missed then. And did you notice how none of his hits damaged me? Because I was completely invincible. It's broken. It really is. And there's the sword tiger drop, and this will be probably a heat move to finish him off. Here we go. Big stab with the sword. The heat moves in this game are confusing. If you look in the top left, you see the orb that fills up? Well, it can fill up several times, and I believe that the more it fills up, the more damage the heat action does. So you can blow like 7 banked heat gauges on one move and do insane damage, or use just one and do minuscule damage. But you'll notice there are times when my stomp on the ground does more damage than a heat action, which is really weird. And of course, this game suffers from the whole, if you do the same heat action twice, you will not get the same damage thing, I think, which is a good idea, because it makes you get creative. But just figuring out how to do the heat actions in this game without Googling is a work of art. Like, some of them, you get off of blocks, you get off of all kinds of weird stuff. Like, there's a deflect move you can do, which is a really wonderful heat action. And I would have loved to show you more heat actions in this particular sequence of bosses, but every time you die, when you get hit and you restart, it takes all your heat away. Which is really shit, really, I think. It's fucking stupid. It should save the state you were in. It shouldn't punish you just because you did poorly. But here's Nishikin again. We fight this guy like a million times. There's a Tiger Drop. There's a wonderful pattern on this guy, because when he starts chasing you, he likes to do this dash into you. So what you can do is you can run away from him, but do it intentionally slowly, so it provokes him to do a 2-hit combo. You dodge the first hit, you turn around, you Tiger Drop the second one, and it's almost a guaranteed hit, because in this game, the enemies can dodge Tiger Drops, which I think is great, but at the same time, the cunts for doing it. It comes out of nowhere too, and he's doing a move he never does. That's the combo that I want right there. See how he cancelled out of it as well? Look at him doing the dodge cancels. That's the 2-hitter. That's what we're looking for. There it was. Dodge the first hit, Tiger Drop the second hit. Simple stuff. Puts him to sleep. And then we come up against the dude who's in Yakuza 5, who in this game has got the same move as everybody who carries these poles. So you can use that to do a whole bunch of different well-timed counters, because the timing never changes and they're a really easy weapon to exploit. So I'm just going to wait for him to swing, and then I'm going to Tiger Drop with the sword, which doesn't do any damage really, but it's a hard knockdown, and hard knockdowns can be really useful in a game such as this. So see what he does again. Use this awesome shiny sword. Here's me trying to bait a move so I can do this, and this should be the killing heat action. Oh no, I'm going to finish it with the sword. Interesting. There's the big hit, and there's the end of the fight. Look at it. Doesn't it look so cool? This is a really fun game, and I love the combat in this game. Some people criticise the sound effects, and I can appreciate that some stuff doesn't sound great, but for the most, all the things that I want to sound great sound fine. So I don't mind it at all. And here is Akiyama in close ranges. Akiyama has some of the most interesting techniques in this game. His animations are crazy. He does really unconventional things. So of course I'm going to Tiger Drop his tits off and then proceed to hit him. Which is just how we treat a lady, right? Here we go. And he's dead. Because once again, Tiger Drop is too strong, dude. It's way too strong. But I adore it, so I don't mind. I just wish there was more moves, you know, like Majima Goro in Kiwami, where he does those multi-hitters and you can Tiger Drop each part of him because he armors through the Tiger. That's what I want to do, because it reminds me of what I was doing in Darksiders with War's Parry. Look at that, dude, it's beautiful. Those thrusts are really dangerous to do it on as well, because you trade a lot. And do you know the worst part of recording no damage on this game, other than the guns and the bullshit checkpoints? It was Tiger Dropping somebody, killing them, and trading. So that I took damage, and I had to replay from a poor save, because I'm a terrible saver, all the way back to the boss that I needed to capture. And it happened numerous times. That is a Tiger Drop before you'd even seen him swing. Look at that. It's crazy how the damage is transferred immediately, without even the punch happening. But here is Majima. Majima's tough in this game. If he wants to be, he can do some really evil stuff. The triple thrust is not one of them, though. Triple thrust is real predictable. It's when he gets close to you and he keeps doing the fake outs with the dodge, and then he'll suddenly do the stab, or he'll do the multi-hitting combo. But I think in this video, I'm going to get him to do the flip move, because after the flip, he does an attack that's the same time every time, and I've got the timing for it, because he's got the dagger now, you'll notice. So watch for the flip. I'm baiting it right here. I'm trying to bait. There it is, and it comes now. See? Every time. He does it just after. Get a couple of quick stomps in on him. Love his purple aura. He looks fabulous. There's the thing, there's the boom, and he's dead. So just look for whatever hit it is that you got the timing for. Use it, exploit it. Really good. This fight's amazing, but I got the best recording, and then Ryugode hit me at the end. It was the sexiest fight imaginable. I was in the middle of both of them, getting consistent Tiger Drops, grabbing them, chucking them, and then I got hit, and I got pissed, and then I was having total bad luck. And then in the end, when I finally did no damage, it was a shit fight. So I apologise, guys, but this is not easy, because both of them have really fast attacks when they want to. And they don't take much damage, so you can do it really quickly. But if Akiyama decides to kick you, it's almost instant. He just does boop and kicks you in the shin. Really frustrating, and it's super difficult to control. So instead I'm going to chuck this grown-ass man around by his dressing gown, and hopefully that's going to put an end to somebody. But it didn't do any damage because I don't have any heat. So here's Akiyama. Watch out for the insta-kick. There he comes. There's the charge from Goda doing his thing. There's Akiyama doing his kicks. There's me trying to get a quick parry, but it didn't work. There it was. There's the invincibility. Finish him off with the combo just to be safe. And then are we going to Tiger Drop that? That was a badly timed Tiger Drop, but I didn't take any damage because of the wonderful, cheesy, overpowered block thing. Boom. No? Bad timing, Chris. Real bad timing. Here he comes. You can block that. You can also tiger drop that as well, but it's a little trickier. Be careful of grabbing enemies too. Certain bosses will break your guard, and they will strike you before you can re-guard. I don't know why they can do this, but it seems to happen quite a lot to me. So I'm just not having a good time at all with Goda at the moment, because I can't time his first punch. Then as soon as I do, he dies. No idea what that screen says, but I'm almost certain it says you're amazing. Because I'm a beast, of course. And then here we go. This is pre-new game. Pre-New Game Plus, sorry. So right now, you're going to see the difference between where we just were and where we are now, because this is my first run-through of Ishin, and I don't do half the damage you just witnessed. There's no real reason for that, guys. I just wanted to record some bosses, so I went for no damage, and I did this from this boss to the end of the game on my first run, and then of course to capture the ones up to there, I had to go into New Game Plus to do, but it's no bother. It's no bother at all, really. If anything, it got me better at understanding some of the patterns, because we're not going to be able to tiger drop Majima twice and kill him. It's just not how powerful we are at the point. And this guy's going to do all his fancy stuff, and watch the cancels he does. He can cancel that pirouetting stab mid-pirouette if you tiger drop. He does an auto-recovery dodge, and he's really tricky for it, so all you're going to see here is a lot of me grabbing, unfortunately, because it's the most damage I can do and it's safe. So you're going to see quite a lot of this. But look at the damage that heat move did. It did less than an inch on his life. And here he comes with the crazy stabs. I also don't have any of the good swords or any of the good guns at this point, which is kind of hilarious. But there's also going to be 2 fights later on that are a New Game Plus, because I skipped them because there were big crowds of enemies and they were fucking me off. So I went back when I had a good gun and I did them that way. That's the R2 technique that you can do, which I never do. And here is the tried and tested. He's going to transition to his knife, I believe, because we did the sword fighty bit. Does he transition to knife here? No, he doesn't. He keeps the sword. Okay. And here he goes doing the crazy dashes. I'm just going to play it safe, grab him, do some quick damage, move away. It's boring, but it's effective. And there is the breaking my guard heat action. You do the spinning kick. Does 0 damage, because once again, unless you have lots of heat, you don't do a lot on this game. It's kind of really confusing at first, because you're like, why are heat actions doing nothing, when in Yakuza 5 they did everything? And here he comes in heat mode, being all crazy. I do have the tiger drop here, so I don't know why I'm being so paranoid, but then again, this fight takes forever, so that's probably why. Here's the big swing, do some good damage. Oh no, it'll do an inch. Like 2 millimeters. Here he comes, stab, stab, stab. That was triple stab, could have done that move. There's the big thrust, that's hard to punish, the big thrust. There's the standard combo. I'm just going to throw him, yeah. So this is kind of null and void at this point, guys. Here he comes spinning, tiger drop it, Chris. Oh, he stopped. God damn you. And the trick to hitting him when he does those spins is to do the tiger drop as late as possible. Do an intentionally late hit, and then he won't cancel it. But if you do it any earlier, you won't land it. But yeah, this is way too tense for my liking. Hopefully we get a bit more exciting. Here we go, big kick. Stamp on him, end of fight. There you go. Pretty boring, but we got him. Majima is down. We'll meet again, I'm sure. So, this is Daigo Dojima. Dojima Daigo, however you say him. And he is cheesy as shit, because he has these daggers that he throws at you, and I had to block them with a weapon, because I couldn't block them standardly, and with normal fists. And he pulls it out really quick, so you've got to be on the ball to watch for when he does it. There it was. There's his knife. Put your sword on, and then block. I think there's 5 of them, and then you can go in there and do a combo to him. He's got a really cool green aura, though. I like the aura. There's the combo. Don't get too extravagant, though, because if he interrupts it, you're in trouble. Here's his crazy jumping knee attack. You can tiger drop all of that, should you choose to. Here's a heat action that does a little bit of damage, but not much. Just put a sword through your chest. Shouldn't that be the end of the fight? Not in Yakuza Town. Here are the daggers again. Pop the sword quickly back on. Watch him dash about. You can dodge these, but it's kind of finicky and the tracking is really good. So it's best to just block it, I found. So here's his standard slash. Here's his look at, you see the stutter step there? Really annoying, dude. Super annoying. See him just completely dodge because he's in heat mode when I try and do a kick, even though it was a failed tiger drop. There's the daggers. Put your sword on, Chris. Put your sword on. God damn it, this is scary. There it goes. Sword on. And we're safe. Just really annoying fight. A cool fight with a couple of shitty moves that ruin it, and the fact that he's got a ton of life when you don't have any damage. Oh, here's a nice sword move. A little bit laggy though, isn't it? Transitioning between the animations. Does no damage. It's hilarious. You're like cutting every part of this dude's body with a giant sword, blood spraying everywhere, and it's like 2 damage. It's the worst thing in the world. And here he is spamming daggers again like a bitch. Come on, dude. I'm using this combo here because it's safe and I need to level up my sword skill. Boom. See, look at it, see it? Instant auto recovery tiger drop avoidance. It's redonkulous, but I like it. I like it because the tiger drop is too good. And anybody who's played the game post Yakuza 3 knows the tiger drop's too good. So it's interesting to see them have a counter. But in Yakuza 3, they did have a counter. When you tiger dropped them, they did that recovery move, that reversal move. But the problem was, you could tiger drop that. So you could get them in a loop of tiger drops, and it was really tough to time, but it was cool as shit. But of course, Yakuza 3, tiger drop's not invincible. So you have to have almost frame-perfect spacing and time it immaculately, or you'll take damage every time. Which, a lot of people will probably prefer it that way, but I like the invincibility. I just wish it was a bit harder to time. Because sometimes you don't even feel like you should get it. I would also prefer it if it was the jab instead of the fucking triangle button, because I hate doing that effeminate kick every time I cock it up. I'd rather do nothing than do the kick, but I appreciate that that's the way they bound it. So look at him dodging the grab. You see that shit? I hate that stuff. And then I'm going to do a standard counter here with heat. It's going to do no damage. Absolutely atrocious damage. My stomps do more damage than heat actions. How does that make sense? Ishin is a strange game, but I do like this game a ton. It's a beautiful game too, runs at 60 frames per second. Anyway, next fight. Really crowded room with basket head dude. So I'm going to probably use the gun to get rid of all the other dudes, and then I'm going to get rid of basket dude. The only reason this fight's even remotely tricky is because it's a small room and there's a lot of people that can hit you at any given time. And Basket's got some interesting moves too. I wish you'd have fought him in a nice big open space so he could have seen some of his attacks. But alas, it's just going to be me using the overpowered block to make sure that I don't get hit from behind, and then getting rid of some of the lackeys so I can focus on him. So that should be the end of most of the lackeys, and Majima's going to play with the other guys, so it's just, look at the lock on here, fucking me. That is terrifying, dude. I hate when it does that. There's me trying to do almost an instantly immune tiger drop. Here's a couple punches to get rid of that fella. And then, this is when stuff gets tricky now. Because Majima's here is going to affect this enemy's AI. And there'll be moments where he'll swing for Majima and he'll hit me. And I really don't like that because it makes it difficult. And look, he's got a white aura. That's a new one. Really interesting choice. So we're going to get him with... Ooh, I think I'm going to do the deflect. Yeah, there's a heat action from deflecting hits, and this is it. He puts it against the stomach. It's the same thing that Nishiki does to us. Or tries to do anyway, but I think we block it. I'm hoping there's no bosses missing from this either, because I don't know this game that well. So if there's any missed from this session, I apologise, folks. This, you'll notice, is New Game Plus. This is a fight I skipped because every time I got touched, I had to kill these pooftars again. And I really hated fighting all these dirty men. So instead, look at what the gun does, guys. Watch what this gun does. Absolutely batshit crazy. It's a destroyer of men. You could no damage this entire game with just that gun, but I'm not doing it because it's not fun. But it's really useful for just being like, I don't want to deal with these 20 random Japanese dudes. Get rid, and then we can deal with the boss, who is over there in heat mode fighting Majima. So here's me trying to put my gun on and kill that fella. He's dead now. Look at that. It's ridiculous how cool those guns are. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get behind him, and I'm going to tiger drop moves that aren't even intended for me. Because you can do this in almost every Yakuza. If you see a move that he's doing, regardless of if it's aimed at you, you can tiger drop it. And you can tiger drop with almost complete immunity, and do really good damage like that. So that's all I'm going to do here, folks. This dude has a really predictable pattern, but for whatever reason my timing was bad. So I'm not hitting any of those multi-hitters, because they always do multi-ones, and they're all... Look at that! He dodged the sword tiger. He didn't dodge that one though. That looked sweet. I love the slow-mo and the motion graphics as the blood hits the screen. So this is Aizawa from Yakuza 5, and he has a big stick, and I think he can pull a gun. So I'm going to be especially cheesy with this dude because of the gun. Any boss who can randomly pull a gun on this, I'm going to give them no mercy. So I'm going to stay quite safe with the parries to give me the barrier, and then I'm going to hit him with tiger drops without fear of reprisal, or just combos. So there's the next counter. And this guy does a move where he does 2 swings in a row, and It might be 3 actually. If he's in heat mode, you can Tiger Drop each of them and do incredible damage. But if he's not in heat mode, he can't take the hit and it interrupts him, which is unfortunate because I love the idea of just bang, bang, bang with the Tiger Drops because it looks so cool. And I do appreciate that if you're one of those people that really doesn't like the Tiger Drop because it's overused, it's way too powerful, and there's tons of videos on YouTube of people just Tiger Dropping bosses. But it's my favourite mechanic in Yakuza, so just understand, dude, I'm not doing it to annoy people who don't like it. I'm doing it because I love it. I'm a counter puncher, you know. It's my favourite way of playing. And it might not be the most interesting thing to watch for you, and that does suck, but the world revolves around plenty of people and there'll be somebody who's enjoyed these videos, so that's awesome too. But here is the little vignette of us both losing guns, taking it in turns to do choreography. And I do like these moments, but you know when you're trying to do a no damage and you see them a whole bunch of times because you keep getting cheaply hit, they do great because you can't skip them. And I do like them for the most. They've got some really fun... There's some fun times to be had inside of them. I hate how the quick times look in this game. They look really cheap and shitty. I like the buttons to look better designed than that. So is he going to get up? There's the stab. The backup stab. There's a couple of punches to motivate him. Backup stab again. Do the quick parry. Boom. Tiger Drop because he did the other one. All I'm doing is waiting on the one I know I can hit and parrying the other ones. So that could have been a Tiger Drop, but I think I wanted to finish him with a heat move, so I do this instead. Where it goes all lime camera for some reason. And there he is. Aizawa, I think he's called Aizawa, is down. Nishiki again. How many times is this? 5? But this is the proper battle, this is when he does all his crazy stuff. The good news is, it's a much more interesting fight. The bad news is there's a lot of sequences where you're doing quick time events that can't be skipped, so if you're going for no damage and you're making mistakes, you might see it quite a lot. So here he is. You'll notice I've also gone to low life for this fight, because the damage that he was doing wasn't enough to kill me quickly, and I was getting frustrated, so I was eating the worms to lower my HP. And it's because of shit like this. This shit takes forever, man. And all it is press triangle. Like, does he even get an attack after this? I don't think you do. So what's the point? It's just a big, slow, derpy block. That's all it is. And then afterwards you can get hit if the camera puts you in the bad spot. But we're going to do the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to bait the first hit, and we're going to parry, Tiger Drop the second hit. And look, we've done one Tiger Drop, and we're already watching another fucking cutscene. So this is an insufferable fight when you're trying to do it and you're making mistakes, because you have to keep sitting through this. Press triangle again to do cool thing. It doesn't damage him for some reason, and if you're close now, he'll hit you before you know where you are. So did you notice how I ran away immediately? Because I've failed a few attempts because of shit like that. It's really cheap as well, it never feels good. So there's a quick throw to knock him down, there's a quick stomp because the stomp is ridiculously overpowered. We're waiting on that one hit. Here's his normal combo. I do the heat action. That might do a lot of damage, I could have a lot of stacked heat. Look at the difference. See the difference in the damage then? That did good damage for reasons. Welcome to Ishin. And this is also New Game Plus, this one. So you'll notice whenever you see the prismatic sword... Oh, this guy's got a gun, so this guy can suck a dick. Terrible, terrible boss. Hate everything about this dude. Chuck him on the floor, shoot a gun at him. Because all he does is dive around like he's Max Payne shooting shit, and I'm not having any of that. So I'm just going to knock his ass over, and I'm going to finish him with bullets, because nope, not playing this game. Ironically, you can Tiger Drop gunshots, but this guy's just really annoying, so I'm having none of it. And I'm just going to bum him with bullets, because look at how good the gun is. Super overpowered, absolutely ridiculous, but that boss is shit, so I don't care. Roll on the next fight. Is it... Ooh, Majima Goro in the training area before the massive gauntlet at the end of the game. So, Majima is the same as he's always been when we fought him. The only difference here is he's got a little bit more life. And you can fight this guy on demand as well at this point, so if you want to keep fighting him, you can do so. And he's a fun fight. I recommend you try him a few times. So, look at the stamps, or the stomps. It's like Pride, vintage Pride right there with the crazy stomps. There's his standard combo with his nice purple trail on his sword. Every time he gets close, he's doing this weird dash mix-up, and it's throwing me off, which is really scary. Poke, boom. There was the reversal. There's the combo into the back. Here's the tiger drop. Oh, I didn't even try it. Flip, flip. Oh, I didn't do it. Or maybe that was a mistake. Should have held the left trigger. Hold the left trigger. Oh, it killed him. Damn. Visceral. Poor Majima. It's okay, though. We were only pretending. He's fine. And now we have Mine. Yoshitaka Mine. So you saw me fight this guy at the end of Yakuza 3. This is a completely different fight because he's nowhere near the same caliber as he was then. And that, my friends, is what happens when a tiger drop immediately kills you. Because it didn't even show the animation. He was just done for. And then we have good old Tiger Saejima. So I start off with a quick parry to get some invincibility, and then I hit him with a tiger drop, running knee, into stomp, no stomp for some reason, and then I'm going to try and hit his first attack. Oh, I didn't, I did the parry because I'm a coward. Boom. Look at it. You don't even see the punch. It never fulfills the animation because it doesn't have to. And this is back into the gauntlet at the end of the game. And you will notice that I think this is a different gun I'm using right now. This might be New Game Plus. We'll have to see if I pull my sword out. I can't quite tell. Like, at this point, I'd already done quite a lot more on the game anyway, because after I got towards a certain point, I started doing way more stuff. I was doing the arenas, I was doing a lot of the trainings, I was doing a lot of the submissions that were turning up. This is another fight with that same dude who you fought on the roof on, is it Yakuza 5, I think you did? And he's with a bunch of fellas again, so I'm going to be quite tentative because every failure means killing all those people. But when he does a big telegraph move like that, punch him in the balls, and there you go, you win. He's sick everywhere, we win. This is a shit fight too. Hate this fight. This is the coward guy who stabs you at the end of one of the Yakuza games. And there's a million dudes, and then for whatever reason, once you do enough damage to the main boss, this room fills with steam and you can't see. And you've got a million dudes trying to cut you and you just can't see them. So I'm just going to use my gun and I'm going to fight like a bitch. Because, you know, it's pretty much what I've done the most of the game on bosses I don't like. So I don't know why this is this way, but somebody enjoyed this design idea. I think it's really silly and it just doesn't add anything to the gameplay. Because the enemies know exactly where you are. It's not like they're affected by it. It's just weird. So use your map to navigate. Make sure you stay away from the boss because he's the real threat here. And then shoot all the red dudes. Get rid of the red dudes so you can focus on the boss dude. And hopefully you've got a pretty good gun at this point so you don't have to worry about them. My gun is not by no means the best, but it's good enough to get rid. And that's all I did. Get rid of those guys and then here comes this dude. So here's a big heat attack action with some wrestling on it. As he does some crazy weird whipping collar tie thing. And this is New Game Plus then, you'll notice that... Oh no, this might just be New Game, but I've actually got that sword now. So this might be just the logical progression of my character getting stronger. And we're going to wait for a tiger drop on an enemy that's not me. And I'm going to do that and it's going to bounce him like a pinball, which is a beautiful thing to do. Nice heat action as he gets up. Couple of stomps to lower that HP. Is he looking at me? Yes, he is. Probably going to do the parry because I don't want to risk it because this is a shit fight and it's not fun. So there's me getting complete. Oh, and here's a running heat action. You've not seen this one yet. Very similar to a move that you can do anyway in Yakuza. So it's not that new, but it's nice to see at least. Here he comes again. Team's doing nothing because why wouldn't they? And he keeps doing the weird fake out into the big... Ooh, that was beautiful. That was dangerous as shit, but it worked. That redeemed this fight, and this should kill. Oh my god, that's depressing. Stamp on his balls. The heat actions are confusing, man. Absolutely confusing. This is the shittest fight in the game. This checkpoint is completely horrible. I had to play back to this twice because I needed heat to do this move. If you don't have this move, there's two dudes behind you with Gatling guns and you can't physically turn around and shoot them before you take damage. It's complete and utter bullshit. Worst fight in any Yakuza ever for dog shittery. It's just the worst start. And you'll notice I fought it like an absolute bitch because it's atrocious. And when you restart, you've got no heat. And you literally get perma-stun locked by shooting people. They just shoot you. It's horrible. And then this is the final boss. So I would love to tell you that this is an amazing fight, but the middle phase is horrible. Beginning phase, really fun. He's using sword stance, so we're just going to use a combination of tiger drops on moves and bounds into walls, which is not that easy to do in this game and not that rewarding either. So just watch his patterns, see what he does, get those tiger drops, get that immunity if you need it, and then boom it, and then here's the transition. So at this point, he decides to like throw a blind at us and jump at us, and it's all fun and games, and then he pulls a gun. I understand he goes through each of the styles that's available to Kazuma, but bosses with guns in Yakuza have never been fun. They will never be fun, and I will never enjoy them. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is super cheesy. I'm going to grab him, dump him on the floor, and I'm going to shoot him on the ground as quick as I can to get to the last phase of the fight. And then in the last phase of the fight, it's mano a mano again. And ironically, in this particular run, he's not very gun happy, so it doesn't really give you an example of just how dirty this boss can be in this middle phase, because he decides to swing at me instead of shooting. But at any given moment, he can shoot you, including, before the camera's centered back on your character, he can have already shot you, which is a nightmare when you're going for a run like this. So the cutscene is all great, the spectacle is wonderful, he's got tons of life bars, tons of moves, really fun idea, but the boss is shit. So I immediately start with a roll, just in case. He dodges my grab, he does a slash, I get the grab, do the old fireman's carry or whatever that's called, and then watch this. I decide to do the charge shot thinking it'd do the most damage if I pump all my heat, right? It does no damage. It does no damage. I would have done more damage if I'd have just shot him on the ground. Look at the damage. It barely did a bar. And then watch what happens when I start shooting him. I could have done way more damage than that. Unbelievable. So this is the point when I'm shitting my pants, because I'm like, well, I fucked that up. This is a reset. And it just so happens that he never decided to shoot me. He wanted to hit me with the sword. And then this is the transition to the good phase. And then you don't have to worry about the shit phase unless you get hit. But, of course, there's no checkpoint between phases, guys, so if you get hit on the next part, you have to do the first two again, and that's what makes this kind of run frustrating, because the first time you do the first part's really fun, first time you do the second part is utter dog shit 'cause it's a shit phase, but at least you did it, and then the third phase comes along, it's really cool, but you take a risk, you don't time it well, you get hit, you have to do it all again, and that is the one torturous aspect of doing any kind of no damage. It is essentially a million attempts until you get the good one, but it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you have those really, really good plays, and every so often you get it quick, and those moments are amazing. But the ones where it takes like 3 hours and it's just super arbitrary, those ones are awful. This one didn't take too long, but I just really didn't like it because, of course, it's very long and there's a lot of bullshit. But this phase is... can't criticise this phase. This phase is wonderful. But you'll notice, I'm being safe as shit. I'm using the immunity to Tiger Drop, and then I'm doing heat actions, and I think this kills him. Yeah, there you go. End of the last boss. Pretty unceremonious, but we got it in the end. So if you're wondering how you play Ishin, you have to import it, guys, but it's region free. I purchased it off of Amazon for the PlayStation 4. You can also get it for the PlayStation 3. It's a really fun game. It's not too difficult to get through because of the translations and everything. There's a website that's completely dedicated to helping you understand what each thing means, and between that and just Yakuza knowledge, you'll be perfectly fine if you pick it up. And I think it's one of the best Yakuzas. It just has a lot of grindy bullshit in it that ruins it if you want to get some of the good stuff. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.